Hello there. My name is Ryf Quail, Managing Director of NRF APAC, and this is 5 Things Friday APAC edition.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
I'm still disappointed. I can't believe it. I can't believe you do it.
Okay, Reef is disappointed about last week's show not being live yet. We've had a big debate. Maybe you let us know. Should we? Shouldn't we?
Yes, yeah. So please, our viewers, I want to come across as my natural self. And I'd been on a camping trip with my son for 2 weeks, and I may have grown a rather lusty beard with a fair bit of growth on my neck. I've trimmed it down this week, so I feel like Alex, my team, my manager, feels I'm now more presentable for the audiences.
Your media
Control. My media advisor has advised me we probably should put the other episode to air, but I thought, show a bit of personality, but no. Okay, so we're shielding you from the masses.
I might put it out as just an audio version. We'll put it out.
I've always said I had a face for radio.
I mean, exactly. Many people have said I've got a fantastic face for radio. We shouldn't let that one go. Let's moving on very quickly, trying to keep to our 50-minute format.
Speaking of faces for radio, we should talk about Yuen first, because we're going to have a guest next week, aren't we?
Oh my God, yes, we are. And you might be just recording with her alone, by the way, because it's like at 2:00 in the morning for me. So
that might be a lot of responsibility. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything
set up, it's like this. You just go in and record. But anyway, Yuen, do you want to do a quick?
So Yuen is the managing director of Aeon 360. It's a newly developed digital offering for Aeon across the region. She's based in Malaysia. She was chief marketing officer for Aeon Malaysia, and now she's taken on this more senior data and digital role, which is exciting. She's an awesome lady. She's a lot smarter than you and I, Alex, which will be good because it'll lift the tone. Ben stumbling out in the weeds, we're going to have someone who's going to elevate our intellect now. We'll be able to draft off that. And so she's been joining us next year. She's on the advisory board for NRF APAC and has been for the last couple of years. Cool. And she's been a wonderful spokesperson for retail. She has her own not-for-profit as well. And she's got some really amazing things to talk about, obviously, journeys and rights of women, particularly in Islamic countries. Obviously, so she's an amazing woman. Like a bit of a crush on her in terms of she's just such an awesome person to have as part of NRF APAC, but also she's agreed to be part of this, to have a go at this.
Expecting some sort of pot or something to come flying towards your head.
Not yet. Anyway, let's get into it, I'd say.
Okay, moving on, my friend.
We've been talking a lot about retail experiences over the previous weeks, and I wanted today to dive into a subset of that. And my two today will be manifestations of experience. And really what it comes to is wellness and experience in retail experience, which can manifest in a whole bunch of different ways. And the one I'm going to talk about today is Lululemon. So Lululemon in Singapore is just taking it to a new level in terms of experience. They've got 4 stores in Singapore. They've got Changi Airport. They've got one at Marina Bay Sands. But their flagship store, their North Star store, let's say that quickly, is in Orchard Road. And it's 600 square meters of retail space. So it's a beautiful Lululemon store, right? But wrapping that store with 180 square meters is a yoga and Pilates studio.
Wow.
So what we're talking about, this is this picture here, this is a part of the retail experience. So you shop at Lululemon and you go into a class, right? There's the yoga studio. Keep coming through, mate. Yeah, there's Pilates. And you can see this is into the entrance from within the store. It's beautifully designed. It's curves. It's inviting. You can see the lines of Singapore there in the fitting rooms.
Okay, so this is now on my... Will they allow... I presume it's unisex, right?
Well, I hope so, because I'll need to go and have a look at this too, because I'll be over in Singapore all then. This is only recent, so this is really cool. So, when you're thinking about wellness, we're thinking about health and well-being. Come back to that. So not only have they got the design, you can see that they've got their ambassador for Lululemon actually teaching the classes.
Oh, wow.
So that's Betty. Let me look at her name. Kana. She's got
Betty Kana, yeah.
Yeah, so she's actually teaching the classes, and she's one of their ambassadors. She's out via Canada. And so we're really thinking about brands rethinking physical retail, not just to be transactional places, but a place that's neither home nor work, but somewhere in between.
Love it. Love it.
Only
Love it.
a little bit to spend time. I mean, you could effectively spend an hour and a half at Lululemon.
Yeah.
Not
Look, I think
only a
it's
90-minute class. It's wild.
yeah, and it's a trend that will continue to grow. And I think maybe at the end of the show, you've got another great example of a store that's not just for transaction, but
this is it. This example extends the values of the brand into activity. You know what I'm saying? The next example is really thinking about wellness within the space. So hold that thought, and I'll hand it back to you. This is about extending the brand into activity.
Well, it's been a dynamic week for luxury in the region. And the thing that always amazes me from a European perspective are these massive conglomerates that live in India that own so many different types of businesses. And as part of one of the many businesses and brands they own is fashion. And what we see is the first Indian luxury department store for Galeries Lafayette, which is officially opened in Mumbai. And it's the retailer's first step into this sort of fast growing luxury, growing luxury market, obviously chasing the aspirational spend in the region. And it takes it away just from, and you've seen this with luxury department stores opening up across the world. They've gone away from, just fashion, but into lifestyle, into art, and into fine living. So it's that, full circle luxury lifestyle living, which is what the store is focused on. More than 250 international brands, including the brands from the holding company as well, Aditya Birla, who has a whole plethora of brands that they own. And it brings it all in one roof, and they're expanding. So it's not an experimental store, because it's the first store, and they're expanding into Delhi next year as well. So one to watch as
it's big. It's a big store though, isn't it? It sounds like
I don't have much square footage, but the fact they're doing art and all the elements of around it, it's incredible, right? In that side. Another story that you and I have discussed many, many times, and I've always discussed this from a UK European perspective, of Chinese brands expanding out into different regions. Chinese F&B brands have expanded into Singapore, or are still expanding into Singapore at pace. And the reason for the energy of these brands moving into the region, or the stated energy, and this is a story in Reuters, so please go to Reuters for the full story. But, my 30 seconds on it is that these brands are looking for stable regulatory environment, stable consumption from spending from consumers, and a transparent regulatory environment, which showcases how Southeast Asian tourists flocking to Singapore are now going to get, if they want to get some fast food from Chinese fast food, the brands are there to meet that demand. And again, I think this signals that we are far, far away from Chinese brands just being satisfied with domestic demand. It's happened in fast fashion, it's happening in F&B, and I expect to see this to continue to grow. And Singapore sorry, go on, mate.
Singapore particularly, it's happening all across different categories in Singapore with Chinese. One of the biggest challenges in Singapore retail, as an aside, is that the Chinese retailers are coming in, setting up and paying overs on their rent, for retail rent. So it's been pushing out a lot of the Singapore retailers who are struggling to be able to afford rent. So the Chinese have come in and are renting retail spaces and bidding the price of real estate up.
Wow.
So this is happening not only in food, but happening right across categories. And Singapore retailers are struggling to match them because they're trying to hold their footprint, and the Chinese retailers are driving.
I don't think it'll be just Singaporean retailers. I think it'll be global retailers when they're.
I think there's a bit of this, but I think that I think for me, talking to Singaporean retailers, it's one of the challenges. The challenges is coming through the cost of doing business, and in most categories, we're seeing Chinese retailers coming in and paying overs for real estate, and so it's creating huge pressure. And I mean, it was very funny. I met with the board of the Singapore Retail Association 3 or 4 years ago, and they say they laugh and joke. In Singapore, they're in property. Retailers are in property, but in Malaysia, they're in retail because they've got a population. Because Singapore's only 5 million people, right? Whereas Malaysia's 35 million people.
Well, it's a great testing ground. But I think what's interesting is obviously we've got these stories of Chinese brands coming out of China, but then you look at, staple of automotive world, Porsche, and luxury. And they're reporting the first time global sales decline in the third quarter of 20% drop. And that 20% drop is in China, which is softening the demand, and North America also, which basically shows how fragile high-end automotive has become with the expansion of Chinese EV brands at such fantastic prices.
And I can,
Sorry, go on.
This is the search, but this is where we're seeing in tougher economic conditions, consumers search for value.
Yeah, 100%.
And I see, for me, the Chinese vehicles are coming into markets and delivering a pretty good product at a sharp price point and creating value for the dollar spent. And a good example yesterday, I was walking through a car park yesterday, and I have been looking at BYD Utes in Australia. They're called the Shark.
Oh, yeah.
They're four-door Utes. They're awesome. Every boy loves a Ute for camping. So that was my next trip. But I was talking to the guy because it was a brand new, and I asked the guy who had it, "What do you think of it?" And he said to me, "Yeah, for the price I paid, it's amazing. It was 50,000 Australian." He said the alternative was a Toyota Prado Land Cruiser, and that was $98,000.
Yeah.
So it's half the price of a Japanese. Like Toyota is an iconic brand in Australia.
Yeah.
So they're going, I'm happy to forego the Toyota brand because I'm going to save $50,000. I'm going to pay half the price for an equivalent product, which is also a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And finally, moving on to you, Ryf.
Yeah. So the last one is we're back to experience in retail, but we're talking about wellness. But we're going to talk about a different manifestation. And
Can you tell what they sell? Is whenever I see an images like that, is what does this store sell?
Yeah, I know, and it's a beautiful store. So if you've done a lot of time in international airports like you and I have, Alex will be familiar with this brand. Gentle Monster opened a concept store in September this year in Seoul. It's an incredible store. So this is the house nowhere, right? It's launched in conjunction. It's an architectural flagship store. It's experiential retail in its concept in conjunction with iCombined, which is the parent company of Gentle Monster. Right? This is unbelievable. It's 14 stories. You want to bring up some pictures, mate? So this dog here. This is actually not a dog. It's actually it's a model. This is when you walk into the lobby of the store.
Yeah.
Right. So the store is more like an art gallery.
Got you.
So they're treating their customers not so much as transactional customers, but as an audience.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
So it's so as you flick through, you can see. Come back one slide, maybe to the left.
I think this is your screen, no?
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Is it me sharing? I'll let me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is too. I'm glad you're on top of this because so we come back here. So this is just you can see some of the designs and
there is some product.
Oh no, there is product. This is the store from the outside. You can see this is their eyewear, right?
Yeah, their famous eyewear. Yeah,
it's wild. So as I said, 14 stores and
14 floors.
It's 14 stories tall. I mean, it's the design is incredible. The first floor, as you see, is that giant animatronic dash hound named Sunshine when you walk in. That what I showed you before. Yeah. On level 2 is the Gentle Monster eyewear. 3 and 4 is other brands. So I'm going to say Atisu headwear and new flat tableware and design objects. There's a tea house. It's incredible. So when you walk through this store, you don't really feel like, a customer. So when we talk about wellness here, we're talking about a multi-sensory immersion. Gentle Monster uses scent, light, spatial design and movement, texture to induce calm, wonder and introspection. So what they're trying to do is slow down the retail experience, to encourage visitors to wander, to pause and to discover and not be rushed.
Got you.
So the whole design lens lends itself to mindful engagement. So you're having a mindful experience. You're having a mental refresher in a retail experience, which, we all know retail, it can be not a very mentally refreshing experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's gone completely counter.
Yeah, no, I think that the other thing they do with having such amazing stores, they create their own advertising campaign. Everyone wants a photo of them by that dog, which will circulate around Instagram and whatever. And we're like, well, where is that? People will get down to the store.
This has only been open for 4 weeks. So it's pretty cool. So like if you go to Seoul, go and check this out. I'm going to have a quick look.
I feel we need to go to Seoul together as well.
Yeah, I think we do too. Like the stuff that's happening, I've got as I said, I use Crush loosely, but I've got a crush on Korea because you see just so many cool things happening up there. And it's because it's a little bit of an island. You see stuff that's happening. They've got a bit of a mental space between themselves and the rest of the world. They're just doing...
We've talked about the K-pop dominance, right? Sorry, everything, K-pop, K-fashion, K-beauty. It's just incredible. They're going from strength to strength.
Yeah. But you just see these unique thinking that you're just not seeing in other parts of the world.
Okay, until next week, where we have our special guest.
Thank you, sir. Lovely to see you. See you in a week.